Here I am, day 2 of BBC Introducing Live. We got an amazing lineup today. We got Trevor Nelson, Tong, Easy Live, which I'm about to see now, and many, many more. First off, what a way to kickstart, Nile Rodgers. Check this out.
The great thing about being part of mining songs and developing songs and being part of some kind of partnership and team or a creator is that once you do it, you really are a part of the owner and the revenue stream forever if you are essential and your partner believes in whatever you give to the relationship. The thing that's interesting about what we do is that these structures are very malleable because everybody sees the world differently.
Not only did you get rejected 24 times before they said yes the 25th time, but even after having been rejected for 24 times, when you walked in the room and played them Le Freak, which became the biggest selling single in the history of the record company and remains so today, they still said, go home.
They walked out the room. They said it's the worst thing they had ever heard. But yeah, the 24 rejections, actually they signed us after yet another record company signed us. So a different record company signed us and they thought, oh, if those guys signed them, they must be really good. So the company that signed us, somehow they violated the terms of the contract, which were very specific and had to happen very quickly. And the best.
Yeah. You give one thing.
You gotta be kidding. You want something imperative, like that. This is gonna work.
Do you mind if I jump in there?
No, let me tell you. If I knew that, my whole life would be different. You think I would have been rejected 24 times?
The best advice that I can give to an artist is to be uncorruptible. And what I mean by that is that we're both proof that success is not difficult, right? Success can come to anyone who's tenacious and works hard to get it and is very clear about what they want. But the truth is there's lots of success, and success won't necessarily bring you happiness. What will bring you happiness is the success that you want.
Even in that failure, you'll feel good about the composition. If you're really honest with yourself, you'll feel good about the composition. It'll allow you to continue. You'll keep going because that's what I've learned from. I always learned from my failures. My successes, it's always been difficult for me to sit back and go, what did I do? What did I do that worked? I can't really tell.
Who's taking the time to listen to your music and deem it good enough to represent it on their show is like such a privilege and an honour for that to happen. So anytime we get told like, oh, your song was played last night by like Anna Mac and everybody else who's championing our music right now, is amazing. Like we definitely under no illusion that we're in such like a good place with our radio DJs right now. So.
Is that
Glastonbury band? Glastonbury. I said to Sam, I forget, I asked him about Glastonbury, shocked them, saying it's the first festival in the world. I've never been anywhere like it, but getting to play is a privilege, and obviously the student BBC introduced to it was even better. But we had, when we got to, yeah, we thought, we're on like 7:40, and they're like, yeah, headline, and we're like, oh no, that's lies because that's so early, but that is genuinely what happens at Glastonbury. It's quite early stage. And we headlined it, and it was just like the best feeling. We had like a full tent at Glastonbury. Bear in mind there's like thousands of people to watch, but the BBC just somehow like are just in the perfect position at Glastonbury for everyone to walk through. And the backstage area is so sick because you see the chairs downstairs, the big old deck chairs. You just literally sitting there just like longing out before the show for like 2 hours.
All that stuff was a bit absurd. And I still kind of, it always feels like a sort of strange blur that happened, and it was like, hey, whatever. My kids might be happy about it one day. or they might get it one day. But I feel like I know I'm best and most creative when I'm just in the moment and really enjoying what and excited about music in the way a kid is about playing with Lego. You know, like there's sort of wild-eyed, just, you know, brains off, and you just kind of and all you do is just kind of that feels good, that, you know, and just responding, you know, and you know, you and the artist are bouncing off each other in a way that's like, it's just, you know, it's very natural, you know. I think you have to be sensitive to where they're at, because, you know, sometimes I might come in and super excited about an idea, and you've got to feed that flame and kind of try and get them to help them to realise whatever that spark of imagination is. Or conversely, they could come in and they're in a place where they're feeling some heavy stuff, and you've got to try and help them realise that. And those two different approaches, how it can be very different, and it can change at any minute as well. And that's kind of so yeah. I think it's just a degree of sensitivity. You've got to be receptive, I think.
Here I am at the BBC Introducing Live. We're halfway through the day. I'm just going in for the Spotify Artist Masterclass. Apparently it's going to be a large queue, but I'm just going to slide in.
Show you guys a range of things that we have available so that you guys can use, make it your own, and hopefully help you connect with your fans in an easier, faster, and a much more meaningful way. Just to start off with, I want to tell you a little guys about our Spotify mission. So we work in a company where we are full of music fans, myself included, and really our company mission and our purpose is to unlock the potential of human creativity.
Like realistic objectives, like one of the, you know, even with Matthew, like we'll speak most mornings, and like for the last, I think I've been managing them for like 11 years now. It's 11 years 2 days ago was pointed out to me by someone in my office this week, and even now, like we have the same mantra that we kind of did at the beginning, which was I would really try and impress upon him the need to have kind of daily objectives that are achievable, and that, you know, if you make a step forward like every day, kind of in a year, like you travel a long way, you know what I mean? I definitely don't think there's like a one-size-fits-all solution for being successful. So no, but then there are certain things that that I'm always looking for, and really I think that's sort of like a voice that I connect with, and hopefully some evidence that other people do too. But honestly that's not always a concern for me. If they don't have an audience, that doesn't put me off.
That's what I was told by my mum. Just always like banging things from an early age, and showing an interest in what was getting played in the house or what was getting played on the radio, and just always curious and always interested in music basically, and I guess it made me happy. No one I knew, none of my heroes that wasn't their day job. So for a start, like nobody did DJing full time. So it was like, well, what was I going to do in the daytime? So I kind of, radio was one thing, but I never wanted to be full-time radio. I wanted to just be specialist kind of thing. So I got a job. I had to get a day job. So I got a job in. I actually did serve petrol in a gas station for a while, and then got a job in a magazine, which like a forerunner of like the mix mags and the DJ magazines of the day was a magazine called Blues and Soul. And they had another magazine that was more focused on reggae called Black Music. I mean, I'm obviously a passionate fan of the medium, and I still think that the medium has a place in our world. What's changed enormously is it's obviously just so damn hard to get everyone's attention. Because when I was on first, it was like, you know, there was literally nothing else on. Certainly if you wanted to listen to dance music. Whereas now, obviously, there's a billion distractions, so it's a lot harder to get heard. Depends what kind of radio you want to do, but obviously, talking as a specialist, I always made that decision really early on. I just didn't see myself as a breakfast show guy that wanted to be there 5 days a week. or anything 5 days a week. It was always like, I was always more of that. I wanted to be like John Peel. I want to find all this music and I want to tell somebody and tell everyone about it. That was kind of the simplistic message. So I think you got to have a passion. You got to be prepared to do your 10,000 hours, because I think if people ask me how I got to where I got to, I think the number one reason I'm still even talking to you to this day is that consistency earns you something that like money can't buy. So like you just got to keep doing it, like week in, week out, and earn that reputation of being that curator, having that relationship with the audience, and be there next week, be there the week after that, be there the week after that, the month after that, the year after that, and it just, time ultimately creates the vibe, you know.
Godfather bought me my first record, which was a Jackson 5's Greatest Hits.
Good choice.
And I was about 7. My sister had a suitcase turntable. You've got to be old to understand what this is, right? You put batteries in, it's a portable turntable, and every single day for like, after school for like 5 years, we played the one record we had, which was their Greatest Hits. So, and we danced until we could sweat. We were about 3 years rolling on Pirate, we were doing great, and then the DTI was saying, this is getting outrageous, there's too many stations, we need to start. I mean, the station was in my flat once.
Oh really?
I'll give you a joke, what? I'll give you a joke. I've told this story many times, but probably not to you lot. So, girls, I like girls, right? But I like music more than. It's hard to admit this, right? My first girlfriend, proper girlfriend, I was at Kingsway College, and she was walking, I didn't have any confidence to talk to girls, but she was walking with an album I did not have in her hand. Because the thing is, when you bought a record back then, you didn't carry it in a bag, you carried the record with the import sticker on it from Japan. I know how much it costs, I didn't have the money to buy it, and I just followed her like a dog. And I stopped her and I said, I don't know your name, what are you doing with that record? And we got talking, and she's my girlfriend, right? A few years later, she gets a flat, and we split up. We split up before she gets a flat. She phones me, says, oh, my name's been on the waiting list, I've got a flat now. I know you're living on your sister's sofa. Do you you can have the flat. And I'm like, oh, I feel, well, maybe we could share the flat. Like an idiot, I said that. So she said to her mum, Mum, I'm leaving, me and Trevor moving in, right?
You were broken up at this point?
We'd broken up already.
And you were going to live with each other?
Yeah. I didn't think twice. I mean, I should have asked her. But the idea of, you know, like, let me explain. I used to spend £150 a week on music. I earned maybe £130 a week. So do the maths. So I'm doing my show, getting my show ready. The DTI, I'm about 3 hours away from doing my show. The DTI take our aerial. They never raided the station, but they took our aerial, which meant I'm not doing my show that week. I'm nearly in tears. This is how I was. I'm nearly, literally, I had my shit sorted. I had the first play on this tune. By next week, every other pirate DJ is going to play that tune. I'm like, I've just spent a fortune on this tune. I'm going to hear it on every other station, and then next week I've got to buy another load of tune. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there, I'm depressed for like a week. Don't even talk to me about MTV, but MTV was what really, probably a lot of people in here know me for, more than Radio 1. And that was, I mean, it was crazy. I interviewed everyone. I said it's easier for me to say who I've not interviewed.
Okay, who have you not interviewed?
Dr. Dre.
Oh.
He's like the only one.
Okay.
He's like the only one that I ever would have wanted to interview that I didn't. I got to interview everyone because I was doing a national R&B show on Radio 1. I had 2 shows on Radio 1, and then I had 2 shows on MTV. So these, like, take Destiny's Child, they come over. Their first album was not very good, but they had No. And they come over, no one wants to talk to them, no one cares. You know, Choice FM might want to talk to them, a couple of specialist radio stations. Obviously, I want to talk to them. So they come to Radio 1, they're sitting up there, they're like little schoolgirls. Hey, you got nice teeth, you got a funny accent, all this shit. And that, you know,
What, Beyonce? Like your
Beyonce
team?
with the biggest Texas. If you want to see a girl box off a KFC bucket, right? Yeah, this is the old school Destiny's Child. But no, but that's what I mean. They come over, they're just young girls excited at being in London. You give them a national interview, it's a big thing for them, you know, it's a big deal for them. It's like not like America where they have to go state to state to state to state, 32 states. They just come to me, and everyone in the UK and Ireland knows who they are, you know, whatever. And then they get told, you've got to go to MTV next. Okay, we'll see you later. They're like to me, see you later. And I'm like laughing. I'm going, okay, so, yeah, see you another time. 2 hours later, I'm at MTV going, hey girls. And they're like, shit, damn, all this shit, you know. Because in America, they think, oh, you must be a millionaire. No, I'm not. They pay me £250 a show. I'm not a millionaire at all. But you know, you're giving them juice. And that happened with so many people that, you know, you just, I didn't want to, my problem was with interviewing all these people was, I could be very objective. Like your job is to interview people and get the story, get some juice, get something to talk about. My job was to help sell the music as far as I was concerned. If you're watching The Lick on MTV, you're a fan of R&B or hip hop, right? You want to know, there's no point me going, this album's shit, don't buy it. I interviewed her once, I met her 3 times. I don't want to speak badly of Whitney, but twice she was not on the planet, you know. And that was once she came down my club, and once she was at an MTV party. But this was an interview. She did the My Love Is Your Love album, the first real R&B album she ever did. Everything before that, just like Mariah, everything before that was pop. So they shut down HMV, there's a queue down Oxford Street. And for the first time in my life, I'm nervous. It's Whitney. I mean, you know, it's like if you can't get a reefer, get Whitney sitting in front of you, you know, it's like, so I go up there, there's all the stuff racked out, we're filming it, and luckily for me, I could get these interviews because I say, well, I'll record it for MTV on film, and I'll take the tape and use the interview for Radio 1, so double whammy. You know, no record company's gonna go, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you get the only interview. So Whitney's sitting there, she looked amazing. She's getting her hair touched up, you know, a girlfriend standing behind. Yeah, security, right? Just keep it real, bro. It is what it is. And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
do you say hello or?
I said, nice flight. You know, you got to warm them up before they go.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
She's getting her hair done.
She doesn't even look at you.
Nope. A minute later she went, yeah, the flight was okay. I was like, damn. This is how you control an interview. It's on my terms. And I was like, whoa, okay. So we did the interview. The interview's perfectly fine, but I think the thing about Whitney, you know, was that every interview she did, she was nervous that you were going to ask her about Bobby, about drugs, you know, because the rumours were out, particularly in the industry already, you know. But the thing about Whitney that I loved, she just scrubbed up so unbelievably well. If you look at the video for My Love Is Your Love and that whole album, Whitney looks amazing. She sounded amazing. But I think that was the last time I would say she truly sounded amazing. You know, after that it was a slow decline, which is tragic. But you know, my memories of Whitney Houston now are, I interviewed her, I sat with her, you know, we talked, and it's tragic what happened to her, but I'm glad I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because that's a way of showing massive respect for someone's talent. You know, you're sitting in front of greatness. I mean, proper greatness. You know? I'm going to be brutally honest. All right. I think if you, I mean, I just need to be aware. How many people ever saw me on MTV? All right. So a lot of you, right? I thought that show was. Forget the fact I was a presenter. I thought we needed that show, you know, on television, right? We did. We needed it. I'm so pissed off with MTV that they didn't continue a show like that. You know, I did that show, you know, I remember doing Dizzy Rascal special, Kano special, Chipmunk special, you know, the ones who were, you know, So Solid special, the ones who were special at the forefront, elevating the scene, you know, to that sort of, remember MTV's still a mainstream station, it wasn't about me going to talk to Jammer in the basement. It was about doing specials on profile artists that I picked the right ones because they all were very special. My point is, the only reason we didn't play loads of Channel U was around that time, right? And they were doing the main, do-it-yourself videos, right? And so you could see that scene was coming because there was a lot of people watching Channel U. MTV should have kept a show like that and given it Stormzy's first TV appearance should have been on that show. Do you get what I mean? And all these people, their first appearances should have been on that show, legitimised by someone who knows what they're talking about. But they let it go. So that was the first sign that, wow, sometimes when you do a lot of work, it can just go. MTV Base ain't what it used to be. You're gone, and it's just like, what's it mean? What did it mean? What I did? What did it mean? I'm not in it for myself. I've never been in it for myself. I've always put the music ahead of me, right? So I was pissed. Seriously, 12 years there, I'm like, what was that about? But I was so proud. That's why I joined One Extra when I got the chance, because I knew something was happening for the first time in British music, British urban music. So I was glad to have my 10, 11 years on One Extra, doing a daytime shift, but getting to play this music, even though it's not my thing 100%. But I was just glad to see these artists coming in. That building's changed, mate. One, the disadvantage you have straight away is no one's making club tunes. Right? R&B club tunes, would you agree? There's no R&B club tunes you can dance to. So that's your armory, that's one hand behind your back, right? The thing I've always said about R&B, you had a guy up on this stage, I don't know if anyone was here for Pete Tong's thing, but Pete Tong, he represents dance music. To enjoy dance music, in my eyes, you have to go out. You have to go out. You have to party. You have to have taken a pill. You have to have been to Ibiza. You have to.
Did you say that?
I just said it.
You said it.
I just said it. No, I don't mean you have to. I mean that.
You don't have to take
You know what I'm
drugs,
saying? No, understand what I'm saying. You have to experience dance music. Anyone who says, I'm a dance music fan, the next question is, you been Ibiza? No. They feel like someone's cut their leg off or something. I'm saying you have to have been somewhere. You have to be out. Very few people say I'm a massive dance music fan and have never been in a club. I've met a million people who are massive R&B clubs fans and never been in a club. Because R&B is a lifestyle. You can wake up in the morning and listen to that. You can go to bed listening to that. Dance music is more of a sort of moment, a weekend, a nighttime thing. Do you get what I mean? So, by taking away the club element of R&B, you're now, I do a late night show on Radio 2, 10 till midnight. I know I'm in people's bedrooms, I know I'm in their homes, I know they're winding down while I'm on the radio, so I know what, I know what position they're in when I'm talking to them. They're winding down. The problem with a lot of the music they're making today, it feels like that music. It feels like a personal thing. It's so personal, the songs that they're writing. I don't know, because I've had those tunes before, but I've always put them in sections on my show. Now you've got a whole show of those tunes. You've got everyone from Georgia Smith to Summer Walker to, everyone's making these sort of tunes. And I don't know how you as a DJ become distinctive.
Wow, what a way to end day 2. So let's start a roundup. So first, I've been in the talk with Nile Rodgers, the legendary producer. Then I went to see Easy Live, talking about their journey to the BBC introducing stage. And next, I went to see Paul Epworth, Adele producer, talking about his career. And then after that, I went to the Spotify Artist Masterclass, giving that useful tips and advice from True Lamb. And then after that, I went to see Jamie Albarn, who worked with the 1975, talking about his independent record label Dirty Hit. And after that, it's 2 DJs back to back, Pete Tong talking about his story, and last but not least, Trevor Nelson talking about his story from pirate radio to where he is now. So, wow, what a way to... I really enjoyed this day. I think this is the best highlight of the event so far for me. I really enjoyed it, and it's good to see different DJs, managers and musicians, you know, come to this panel just to open up their stories